Hi everyone, today's workout is actually one from the blog archives that I posted several years ago, and I think it's worthy of a video. It's a Tabata jacks workout, and I'm calling it that because one of the exercises in each of the 4 Tabata supersets we're gonna do involves a jacking motion. So think jumping jacks, plank jacks, squat jacks, push-up jacks. I think that's it. You get the picture. So this workout is broken into 4 different Tabatas. A traditional Tabata, you would do the same exercise throughout all 8 intervals, but for this one, I'm going to give you 2 exercises and you'll alternate between them. We're using an interval structure of 20 seconds of work, 10 seconds of rest. You do that 8 times total for a 4-minute block of work. In between each of those Tabatas, I'll give you 60 seconds to recover. And during that 60 seconds, I'm going to give you a preview of the next 2 exercises so that you know what to expect. As for equipment, all you will need is a light to medium weight, stray more towards the medium side. I'm using an 8-pound dumbbell. If I'm being honest here, I probably could have used a 10, but go somewhere in that range. And if you don't have a dumbbell, a medicine ball would work. So would a kettlebell, but as long as it's a very light kettlebell, because you will want to grip it around the round part, not the handle. As with all workouts, you want to make sure that you're properly warmed up beforehand and always listen to your body, modifying or stopping as needed. I have a 5-minute warm-up on my channel, and I'm also very soon coming out with another one that's a little more gentle, because I do get lots of feedback on that one that it's a little too intense too soon, so that's something to look forward to in the next couple weeks. But anyway, that was a tangent. Make sure you're warmed up, and if you are, we're going to get to the preview of the first Tabata. Okay, first Tabata coming up. You're going to need your weight for this one for both exercises. The first one's going to be a jumping jack with a press. First you do a chest press, then an overhead press. At the beeps, we'll get going. Okay, so the press is when the feet are wide. When your feet jump in together, that's when you bring the weight in towards your chest. You want to make sure that you're keeping your chest broad, so think of rolling those shoulder blades back to keep them open. You don't want the weight to kind of hunch you forward. You're over halfway there, just a few more seconds to go. Keep it up. And you have 10 seconds to rest. So we have a squat hold coming up. It's going to be a truck driver. So we hold a low squat and then we extend the weight out at chest height, and you kind of just twist it back and forth as if you were driving a truck, except hopefully no one drives their car this way. That'd be very dangerous. So same cues. I want you to roll those shoulder blades back so that we're not hunching. We're keeping the chest broad. Your core is active. Knit the ribs together. Low abs pull up and in. Your tailbone reaches long. Weight is in your heels. And rest. Okay, so we're going back to the jumping jack with the press. To modify, ditch the weight. Just do body weight jumping jacks, okay? And let's go, 20 seconds. So the press forward in front of your chest should be a little harder than the press overhead. If it's too much, just do the press overhead the whole time. So there are always ways to kind of dial down the intensity to fit your needs. Last few seconds here, right till the end. 10 seconds to rest. We're going to go into that truck driver. Same deal. If you need to modify, you could always do this just in a squat hold without the weight. Or if the issue is your lower body, then just every few seconds, stand up for a second and then sink back down in that squat. I know for me, though, the upper body is the challenge here, not the lower half. Final few seconds. Rest. Okay, we're halfway through. So 2 minutes left to go. We're going to start back at the top with those jumping jacks with the push press. Remember, the press is when the feet are wide so that you have a stable base. Your core is really active here, so I want you to think of drawing the navel in towards the spine. Low abs pull up and in. A few more seconds to go. Keep it up. And rest. We got those truck drivers. Roll those shoulder blades down and back. Chest is broad. Draw up and in through the low abs. We reach our tailbone long. Hips slide down and back. You're in this low squat. Weight is in your heels. And your knees are not jutting out farther than the toes. The angle for the video kind of makes it look like my knees are out farther than my toes, but they're not. And if yours are jutting forward, it just means you need to lean forward slightly with the torso so that you can send your hips back a little further.
rest. Okay, just one more time through the 2 exercises. So last time you're going to see these, we got the jumping jack with the push press. This is the last time you'll see this. So let's pick up the pace a little bit. Wide and up. Chest press, shoulder press. You're halfway there. Could you pick up the pace at all without sacrificing proper form though? Okay, so if things start to get sloppy, slow it down again. Rest. Okay, final work interval coming up. 20 seconds to go. Truck drivers, you're going to find that low squat position. Extend that weight out at chest height and flip it. Flip it side to side. So as you tire, those hands are going to want to drop down. I don't want them at belly button height though. I want them up by your chest. So think armpit height, twist, twist. You don't want to shrug the shoulders up towards your ears. So try to relax the neck. You got it. Final few seconds here. Don't quit. And rest. Okay, I'm going to give you a preview of the next Tabata exercises and then we'll get going. Okay, you still have just under 30 seconds to recover, and then we will get going with Tabata number 2. As you just saw, this one will focus kind of upper body core mostly. And the first exercise is going to be a push-up jack. You know, as long as I've been consistently working out, push-ups are something I still really struggle with. And so I tend to avoid them because I'm not good at them. So this year I'm really committing to incorporating them more into these routines. And speaking of which, let's take off and get going with these. So you're jumping your feet wide as you lower down, abs stay in tight, and then as your arms straighten, you hop those feet back together. Now, if you need to modify these, just take out the jack, drop your knees down, and just give me regular modified push-ups. Let's make, and rest, never mind. Yapping away as usual. All right, next up, we're going to flip onto our backs. You have a star spread to a suitcase crunch. So arms overhead wide, legs outstretched wide out of hover, and then bring knees in towards elbows at the top. So the goal here when you spread out is you're lowering your back onto the floor, but you're keeping your shoulder blades hovering and your extremities hovering. So try not to rest those legs or those arms on the ground overhead. That being said, if you have to modify, that's exactly what you do. Tap them down for a second. Rest. Okay, first set out of the way, we're going to flip around and we're going to go back to those push-up jacks. My goal is to stay on my feet for all reps or all rounds of these. So if it's getting hard, but you want to try to stay on your feet, just slow it down a little bit. Try to get in at least 4 or 5 reps though, each of the 20-second intervals. Now on these, your legs are active, so I want you squeezing your quads and your glutes, especially as you lower down so that we don't have a saggy lower body. And rest. Flip onto your back, star spread to that suitcase crunch. All right, you crunch up, bringing elbows in towards knees. Now, as you do this, I want you to really think of lifting through your core. So don't use momentum or don't only use momentum to get up in that crunch. So you notice when I go to that spread, I'm kind of pausing at the bottom, taking out any momentum, and then I go up and crunch. And rest. Okay, halfway there, flip back around. We are going into those push-up jacks. Now, if your form starts to get sloppy on these, if that low back is sagging down to the floor, just modify. Way better to take the modified version and keep that good form. That is how you get stronger without hurting yourself. A few more seconds. Try to get in at least one more rep. Let's go. And rest. Okay, flip onto your back. Star spread to suitcase crunch. On this crunch, if your knees aren't coming all the way in to touch your elbows, don't worry about it, okay? You're just coming in as close as you can with control. And if that's not happening, just get them as close as possible. Now, when you are low in that spread, you want to make sure your low back isn't arching up towards the ceiling. So think of drawing your navel down towards the floor, low abs pull up and in. Rest. Okay, just one more time through these exercises and then your second Tabata is over with. Push-up jacks coming up at the beeps. And let's go. So you'll notice on these, I am doing a wider push-up to target mostly the chest. If you're more comfortable doing a tricep push-up with your elbows and hands in tight towards your sides, that's A-okay as well. A few more seconds, try to do at least one more. And done. Check those off the list. You do not have to see that exercise again. I don't know about you, but I am pretty happy. No more push-ups. All right, last round of those crunches coming up. Starting that big spread, legs and arms hovering, crunch up and in, elbows towards knees, and spread it back out. When you go to that hover, if your low back is peeling off the floor and you can't keep it down, then you are lowering your legs a little too low. Try spreading them up at a 45-degree angle. It's going to be a little easier for that back. Final few seconds. And done. Okay, 60 seconds to rest while I show you the next Tabata. About 25 seconds to recover. You get that full minute in between each Tabata. This next one's going to be focused on lower body, and you are going to need your weight for both exercises. But again, if you need to modify, you can always just stitch that weight and do body weight. So first exercise coming up is going to be a squat jack, and we're going to add in an oblique scoop. So kind of picture you're rowing a canoe here. When your feet are wide, the weight is at center at your chest. And then when you jack the feet together narrow, you're going to scoop that weight to the side, alternating back and forth. You want to stay low as you do these. Last few seconds. And 10 seconds to recover. Okay, next up, we're going to come into lunge stomps. Find a low lunge. Doesn't matter which leg is forward first. We'll alternate each round. And put the weight behind your chin, not in front of it. If you hold the weight at your chest, there's a good chance you're going to whack yourself in the chin with it. So that's why you see I have it on my upper back here. And if the weight is too much, just ditch it. Just do body weight here. So you're pushing off that front leg. Your front foot is only coming off the floor a couple inches, and then you're landing back low in that split lunge. Rest. Okay, we're going to go back to the squat jack without oblique scoop. Find that low squat position. Start with your feet wide, weight at center, and then you're scooping side to side when those feet jump narrow. All right, your goal, the 20 seconds, you are continuously moving for that entire 20 seconds. If you need to slow it down, that's fine. If you need to modify, maybe you take out the jump and you just step your feet wide and narrow. But keep moving till you hear those beeps. And rest. Okay, we're going back to the lunge stomp. Your other foot is going to be in front now. Find that low lunge. Both knees are bent. And let's go. You're stomping that front foot up and landing. With your torso, you have a hinge forward. So notice my shoulders are kind of staying over that front knee, not necessarily over my hips. That's going to keep the work in that front target leg. Shake it out. You are halfway through. So we're going to start back at the top. You have those squat jacks. You guys are pros by now. You got 2 minutes of work to go. Let's do it. Get low. And we jack those feet in and out, staying low. So button hips down and back. Our torso is hinging forward. Our core is active here. So knit those ribs together, pull up and in through the low abs, reach that tailbone long back behind you. And rest. Okay, lunge stomps. Whichever leg you started on, we're going back to that one. Find your low lunge position, hinge forward with the torso, and you're going to push off that front leg, hop that foot up a couple inches, and then land back down low. You want that back knee to get pretty close to touching the floor. Of course, don't bang it on the ground, but you want to be low when you're at the bottom of these. Really get that burn going. Last few seconds. And rest. Okay, we just have one more set to go. Last time you're going to see these squat jacks. Shake it out real quick. Make your way into that low squat position. And let's go. In, out, scooping that weight side to side. So it really becomes a full body exercise. Our core is active here as we do that scoop, arms working, and of course you're feeling this in your lower body. Last few seconds. You don't have to see this exercise again. Right through to the beeps. And rest. Okay, one more work interval to go, and then your third Tabata is done with. Lunge stomp, switch which leg is in front, find that low lunge position, hinge forward with the torso, and let's go. Push off that front foot, land. It's a small little hop up, stamp that foot back down. You're about halfway through, keep it up. Final few seconds, you're too close to the end to stop now. And rest. 60 seconds to recover while I show you the final 2 exercises in this workout. Okay, you still have just under 30 seconds to rest. We are going into our 4th and final Tabata. You do not need the weight for this one, as you just saw in the preview. 2 body weight exercises. We're going to do forearm plank jacks, and then we will do burpees. For the burpees, I demoed a version without the push-up, but if you want to add in a push-up at the bottom, you can do any version of burpees your little heart desires. Okay, let's start making our way down to a forearm plank position. Shoulders stacked over elbows. Legs are active here, so squeeze your quads and glutes, and you're going to jack those feet wide and narrow. Now, a little tip, if your shoulders are burning out like bad on this one, do it up on straight arms, okay? If you're in a high plank position, it's a little easier on the shoulders. A few more seconds to go. Keep that pace up. And 10 seconds to rest. All right, burpees coming up. And again, like I said, you can do any version of burpees you want, maybe push-up, maybe chest to floor. I'm just going to jump to a plank. Now, to modify these, you can always take out the jump at the top. So you would jump to plank, but then you would just stand. And if that's too much, you could step to plank, step to that low squat, and stand. A great way to modify almost any exercise is just to take out the jumping. Always makes it a little less intense. And shake it out. Okay, first set done. 3 more sets to go. Make your way down to that forearm plank. And jack those feet in and out. Now, as you're doing these, you want to make sure you're not piking your butt up into the air. So your hips should stay right around shoulder height as you do these. Looking at this, my hips are maybe an inch too high. I could lower them a smidge. A few more seconds to go. And rest. Okay, burpees coming up next. "20 seconds on the clock, take off. Now you want to be moving continuously throughout the 20 seconds. That is what makes interval training so effective. Okay, you got to push, 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 and then you get that quick recovery. Few more seconds to go. Try to get in maybe 2 more reps. And you're officially halfway through. Okay, let's go. 2 minutes remaining in this Tabata, and then you're done with this workout. Make your way to that plank position. And again, if shoulders are yelling at you, you can do this in a high plank instead. Jack those feet wide and narrow. Through your core, you're knitting your ribs together. Your low abs are drawing up and in, so we're not letting that low back sag down to the floor. If your low back is sagging to the floor, it means your pelvic bone is tilting forward. Adjust that by pulling up and in through the low abs. Burpees coming up next. And let's go. Now, if you had started off doing push-up burpees or chest-to-floor burpees and you're burning out, then just go to the version I'm doing. Hands to the floor, just jump to plank, and then quickly back up. Rest. Okay, final set coming up. Last time you're going to see these exercises. Make your way down to that plank position. And take off. Now, the pace you're at right now, I want you to try to stick with it the entire 20-second interval, okay? Challenge yourself not to slow down. Find a rhythm and keep it. It's out, in, out, in, out, in. Keep it up. Last few seconds, right till you hear those beeps. You got it. You're so close. And rest. Okay, we got one more interval of work to go. Final 20 seconds of this workout coming up. Burpees. How many reps can you get in? I want you to challenge yourself. Best interval yet. Take off. You're already halfway through, okay? That's just 10 seconds. Keep it up. Could you pick up the pace a little bit? Maybe you try adding in a push-up or lowering your chest to the floor if you want to take a harder version. And done. Awesome work.
Hope you enjoyed that workout. If you did, you know the drill. Give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to my channel. I post new videos here every Monday, so I'll see you guys next week. Oh, one more thing before I go. I heard your cries. You guys love the lightweight arm song workout from last week, so I have a bunch more coming. I'm gonna do one for triceps, one for biceps, also one focused on glutes, so you will have lots of music-based little short workouts coming up throughout the next month or so. Okay, I'll see you next Monday.